This is Howard Walensky for Skype. I'm talking to Janie Porter from 10 Connect TV down in St. Petersburg, Florida. And Janie is one of the pioneers in using Skype for reporting. So when did you start using Skype?
The first time I used it was this past January of 2009. I was covering the BCS tournament, the final game in Miami area of Florida. And what my station decided to do, rather than sending down a photographer or a live truck operator or a sat truck operator for me to be with down there for our morning show live shots, they just sent me and they said, here's Skype, here's your camera, here's your laptop. And some of our IT guys helped me to figure out how to get the live shot going. But that was the first time that I used it, and it worked out wonderfully, actually. I did probably 30 to 40 live shots that week. I was there Monday through Friday, and all of the live shots worked great. There was one time when we had to cut out, and the anchor had to say, oh, we're having some technical difficulties. There was a problem, I think, with my connection, and the video connection was just too slow for television. But every single other live shot worked just fine through Skype.
Now, live shot's a little bit of an industry term. I mean, and this is, I hope, reaching more of a general audience. So, how would you define a live shot? Is it literally just taking live video from out in the field?
That's exactly what it is. When you see a reporter out in the field, holding a microphone in their hand, whether they're at a basketball game or a fire. That's called a live shot, and we use live signal to transmit that back to our TV station and then transmit it out so that everyone at home can see it.
And that's a kind of a complicated, or at least a situation that involves a lot of manpower, right? I mean, you need a reporter, you need a satellite driver, a truck driver. What else do you need? Do you need a sound person? Do you need a camera person? So.
If you're near your remote sites, in other words, if you're in your general market area, let's say within 50 miles, you only have to have two people. One person would be me, the reporter, and the other person would be the live truck operator. They're the person who will call the station to do what we call tune in the live shot. That's when they put up the big mast on the live truck that you've probably seen if you've been out driving around. You see a news van and there's a big pole that goes into the sky, and that's so that we can find our remote site with the equipment on the top of our mast. And so two people are required. Now, in the case of when I went down for the BCS, this was a different situation in that we were well more than 50 miles outside of our market area and way too far away from our remote sites to even think about getting a signal. So in that case, it would have required a sat truck, which requires three people, one person inside manning the truck, one person out with the camera working as a photographer, and a third person is the reporter.
So in the case of using Skype, you can eliminate all of that. You could be like a backpack reporter.
Exactly, and that's the exact reason my company wanted to send me. I reported for the morning show, so again, rather than having a separate photographer and a separate live truck operator, they just sent me, and I had three items: my camera, my laptop, and a second laptop as well. I used one laptop to use Skype and feed it into my camera and use that for my Skype connection, and I used the other laptop to do some other work things that I do during the show, such as update my scripts, and at 10 Connects we also are on AOL Instant Messenger during our shows, so I use that secondary computer for that.
So being able to carry this around with you, this should be, well, let's look at what happened in Buffalo, New York. The first TV shots that they had were on Skype. You don't need a big truck to get into a place. This makes you far more mobile, and you can access things, I would think, that you might not otherwise easily be able to reach, right?
Absolutely. In fact, what you can also do, and what we've done, we've given it to some of our sources out in the field. For instance, we have a strawberry farmer who we always go to when a freeze happens, and of course here in Florida that's huge news. Whenever it goes below 35 degrees, oh no, we all kind of freak out. But what we did is, it was one of our contacts. We've known him for many years. We actually gave him a camera and said, next time it freezes, rather than sending up a two-person crew establishing a live shot, and in addition to that, it takes about an hour to get there. we said, why don't you set up your Skype connection, set up this camera that we've given you, and then we plan on using him in newscasts that way. And he's actually completely contained. There's no one from the station out there with him. So that's a pretty neat thing that you can do. Also, something that we've started doing is attaching cameras to some of our employee vehicles as they come into work. And we use that during our morning cut-ins, our morning updates, which run from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. We'll show people at home as we're live on television this Skype shot from someone's car coming in sort of maybe a heavy traffic area. We use it as part of our traffic reports. So that's another neat way that we're using it.
How is the picture quality? Is that an issue at all?
When I was doing my Skype live shots in the Miami area, it seems a little bit grainier, but it wasn't terrible. What I've noticed is sometimes when it's really high light, for instance, on some of the traffic live shots where Skype is connected to a vehicle as it comes into our station that we've taken in the early morning hours, sometimes it looks a tiny bit overexposed because, you know, the sun's rising and I guess the asphalt may reflect it a little bit more. But I think that all sort of just depends on, of course, your quality of camera, not so much the Skype connection. Of course, the Skype connection will affect, and your phone connection will affect just how slow the video may update or how fast it may update as well.
So Janie, one last question. Where is all this heading?
The possibilities really appear to be endless at this point. You know, once we started with our Skype live shots in Miami for the BCS, our news director's really been brainstorming, coming up with different ideas. For instance, putting cameras and using Skype in vehicles to report on traffic, giving Skype cameras to our different contacts out in the field. It's going to be really interesting to see where this goes as more and more people, including our viewers, become so much more comfortable with this new technology.
Listen, I really appreciate your help, Janie, and have a great news day.
Thank you. You too. Nice to meet you.
Thanks. Bye now.
Bye.